What is up guys, Thunder Studios here. Today I'm going to be taking a look at Transformers Age of the Primes Deluxe Class Micronus Prime. Micronus Prime here is actually quite unique because this whole robot here is just the Apex armor and inside is actually Micronus Prime. So we'll get to him later, but just taking a look at the Apex armor first. I'm not really a huge fan of these two like spinning blades here. I understand what they do for the transformation, but they could have hidden them a lot more. But he does have a pretty clean profile, but he is quite short and like kind of like stocky. But I do really like the nice silver paint on this area here on the face visor and also on the Chimera Stone. And on the Chimera Stone you can see his little insignia. I do really like the hands as like sort of exhausts for the vehicle mode, but I wish they were like sort of movable. At least wish he came with like another gun or accessory or something. Like they could have made it so he could take off these and use them as like, I don't know, like an axe or something. Just makes him feel a little odd without an proper accessory. But coming down to the legs here, I do really like what they did with the tire treads. They made it so like it's an extra kind of armor that sort of like shifts when you fold the knee in, which is really a neat bit of engineering. And I also like all the pipe details here and also on the back as well, like here. Yeah, this just looks really good. There's only a tiny bit of hollow spaces on the feet, but that's understandable given the transformation steps. And I really like this shiny teal plastic used for the shoulder pads, the head, and this part. That looks really good. And on the Chimera Stone and on Micronus Prime. Speaking of Micronus Prime, just taking a quick look here at Micronus Prime's alternate form. He does transform into the Minicon logo, which is a neat inclusion, and I'm really a huge fan of all the shiny paint on this guy. And if you turn him around, you can see his head and just a couple of the limbs folded up. So let's get him transformed. And there is Micronus Prime. He looks really good, and he is based off his RID 2015 design. He is quite round because of what he transforms from, which is the Minicon insignia, which is a neat little detail. And what I do like is all the paint on this guy. There's like the shiny teal plastic and the silver on the head sculpt, and he does have like a built-in ankle tilt, so he stays at like an A stance. One thing I'm really not too happy about is this guy is mostly made of clear plastic, just like Eject from Legacy Blaster, and he's quite hollow, but due to how small this guy is and the transformation, do kind of understand that. But yeah, not too fan of the clear plastic. At least they aren't ball joints, apart from the head, which is completely clear plastic and is on a ball joint. And he just has the Chimera Stone in his back. He's quite cool. And for quick size comparisons, here he is with a General Titan Master. He's about like Minicon size. So yeah, he scales pretty well. Okay, so let's move on to the articulation. Starting off with the Apex armor, he has a very limited ball joint at the head. It can rotate down due to the transformation. The arms can go the full 360. They go out that far. Elbow rotation, elbow bend to about 90, and wrist rotation. No waist rotation, but the legs kick up to about that far. Back that far, out to the side. Thigh rotation, knee bend, and some ankle tilt. As for Micronus Prime, it has a ball joint at the head which can rotate. Ball joints at the arms, they can rotate and go out. Elbow rotation, which is on a ball joint, they can go to 90. Legs, they can kick out that far, go back to about that far, and go out to the side quite a lot. And a ball jointed knee which can rotate and bend. So that's it for their articulation. And yeah, they do look really great together. Let's just do a size comparison of Micronus Prime and the Apex armor with the other primes. Here they are with Alchemist Prime, Primer Prime, Vector Prime, Alpha Trion, and Megatronus Prime. With size comparisons out the way, let's move on to his transformation. So that is the official transformation, and I'm gonna put these down first just so it can stand up on its own. And yeah, it doesn't really balance well, but it does look alright, and I do like the inclusion of the hands as exhaust, but they don't really transform much. They just pop off and reattach, and it doesn't look the best when these are out. And to attach Micronus, you just rotate the forearms, fold them up, and take the legs and just move them out like this. Then sit them down and just attach the arms to the handlebars. And here there's slots that go in there, and they are kind of a pain to get in, and like they don't really stay tabbed in. Yeah, that is Micronus riding his unicycle. And yeah, you just fold out the arms, and that looks really weird. But the one thing I do like is the wheel does roll pretty well when you have it properly transformed, but the panels don't really squeeze together and it gets caught on something. That's kind of a pain, but it does feel pretty good to roll. But what I like to do personally is just take the arms and peg them into the front ports here, and that does give it a slightly more compact look, but it also makes it a bit wider. That's probably the best way Hasbro could have done it, but I would have liked to put a bit more engineering on the arms and made them transform a bit more. So yeah, and he is really fun to like roll around and do stuff with, and he looks pretty cool riding on there. And it's quite unique, apart from, I do believe Armada Sideways has some minicons that ride on top of him and he turns into like a motorbike, so hopefully we get that soon. I know there are some leaked listings about that, but yeah, other than that, Micronus Prime does look pretty cool. And yeah, let's wrap out and I'll give you my final thoughts. In my opinion, I do think this is an okay figure. Probably not the best compared to some of the other Primes I've reviewed. Check out my last review if you haven't. But yeah, for the price, I really don't think it's worth it. He doesn't really have that level of engineering that I'd like, and he has a few gimmicks like being an armorizer and having like a mini transformer in him, but he's not all that fun to just mess about with. He's oddly weird, doesn't have the best articulation, and just feels very limited. So yeah, unless you're trying to complete your Primes collection like I am, I wouldn't recommend getting this. But tell me what you guys think in the comments. Make sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for my next review. Peace.